Joining me right now back on the show is one atomweight contender, B Nguyen. What's going on, B?
Hey, it's good to talk to you again.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Now, I just saw that you signed a new 6 fight deal with the organization. Talk about the process of getting that done and what that means to you.
It was really a short and simple process. I think before this fight, before this, right after I signed the contract for to fight Stamp, they just wanted to extend my contract and wanted to talk about me staying at one longer. And they gave me a good number. I gave them another one. We met in the middle, and here we are. It was good, sweet and simple.
Over the summer, I saw that you did some keynote speaking at what is it? Hashtag I'm Ready conference in Oakland. That must
Yeah.
have been a very nerve-wracking, experience compared to, I guess, fighting. What's
Yeah.
harder for you, speaking or fighting?
Um, Probably what's harder is fighting, but what's more exhausting emotionally and mentally is speaking. I don't think a lot of people know I do a lot of public speaking. And I've done this conference. This is my second year now doing this conference. So it's actually a Asian women's nonprofit. It's just a space for Asian women to come and be together. So yeah, it's fun. It's just emotionally draining because you take everybody, you give yourself and you take everybody else's in. So
A woman's advocate. What is, a lot of people have their definitions of that. What is your definition of being a woman's advocate?
being a woman's advocate, for me specifically, I advocate for all possibilities for women to be limitless because in different parts of the world, there's different levels, but all women, I think, around the world are limited in their resources, in representation, in confidence, and so that's what I definitely stand for. I want to make sure that women have all the resources that they want and need to achieve whatever they need to do.
Have you done other events or do you have events planned for the future?
Yeah, I actually. It depends. My priority is one championship, so it depends on my schedule. And when I commit something, I definitely don't want to flake. So I'm trying to line up a speaking tour, so to speak, next year, because I want to take January off. But we'll see if one championship wants me to compete, then I will.
Since we last spoke, you have competed twice. The first fight, you dropped the decision in July in the Philippines. You seem to be very disappointed in the judging, and a lot of people were, online, offline.
Kuala Lumpur.
What's up?
It was Kuala Lumpur.
Oh, was it? Okay, oh, it was KL. Okay, KL. How devastating was that loss for you? Because I know you've been training so hard, back to back camps, and to go in there and kind of get that taken away from you.
It was really devastating. um, just because there's a lot of things that hurt because of it. I mean, definitely to get that win taken away from me. But also, there's other things to take into account. Are my win bonus, my tier doesn't go up. But the fans eased my pain. There was a bit of an uproar on social media, and it was just like having everybody have my back, whether they were my fan or not, made me feel good. It was validating, because sometimes when fighters feel like they won, it can be taken as we're just being emotional, but everybody validated how I was feeling. But one championship has promoted me um, based on performance instead of they do that with all their fighters, win or lose, as long as you perform, and I put on a hell of a performance. So um, they appreciated it, and they perform me they match me, um, so.
2 months later, you went to Vietnam. You got to compete in a Muay Thai match to get back yourself back into the win column. What was that whole experience like? Because it wasn't just about the fight; it was about so many
Yeah.
different things in your life.
Literally, that event brought everything that is me together. My family, the loss of my father, the relationship with my dad, meeting family I've never met before, uh, advocated for women, advocating for women in a country where martial arts is not big or even a possibility for women, where being an athlete isn't really a thing for a woman in Vietnam. So, and also representing Vietnam, with that win, all of it came together for me, and it was quite a blur, to be honest. It was really, it went by really quickly, but what really stood out to me was after the fight, I stayed about 3 days, and that's when I really saw um, the effects of what we did, what one championship and and those fighters did in that event. I got so many tweets. I saw these newspapers around of a woman, me, on the newspaper competing in martial arts, which is, if you don't understand, it's crazy to have that. Women are supposed to be scholars or entrepreneurs even in Vietnam, but not athletes. And to have me be promoted like that was crazy.
Fighting Muay Thai, is this the beginning of you jumping back and forth from MMA to Muay Thai for one championship? Or is it that just like a one off?
At first I did it just because it wasn't really a choice, and the choice was to be on the card or not. And of course, I was going to be on the card in my home country. But it was fun, and that's the cool thing. I never really thought it was possible, but that's the cool thing about being with one championship, is that you can compete in all the arts. Honestly, it was challenging, and then it's challenging now to come back to MMA, and I kind of like the challenge. It's kind of like compartmentalizing your skills is very difficult for an athlete to do. To have to do Muay Thai, where I clenched last fight. And in MMA, I don't really clench; I wrestle more. So it's going to be interesting, and I think I'm going to do great. But it's going to be interesting to see how I can perform in different sports back to back.
Yeah, then now, your upcoming fight, it seems like you've spent most of your training camp in Houston to prepare. Why did you decide to keep yourself at home to get ready?
Um, when it's a big challenge, and it's a big fight for me, and so I have home based coaches that I just wanted to come back to, coaches that know me, coaches that deserve to, not deserve, but I want to be in my corner, um, for a big fight like this. So it felt good to be at home, and also I mentor some fighters here too. So it's good to be back with them, and see where they're at, and train with them and be in camp with them.
It seems like you've been to a couple spots for this camp. Where have you been working?
The same spots I always work when I'm in America. Heritage Muay Thai for my Muay Thai. I do main boxing for my boxing, although I've been focusing more on Muay Thai, and war for my MMA and wrestling. So that's the thing about MMA. We have to work a lot of aspects of the game.
With your training at war, who are the bodies that you've been, working with to prepare for Stamp?
Zoe, I've been preparing more for the strengths and the game planning I'm going to use against Stamp than preparing for Stamp. So I've been working with this young, talented wrestler. She was a multiple time state champion wrestler, and I've been working with my coach Jeremy for the ground and pound and jiu-jitsu, and there's so many fighters and purple belts and brown belts at that gym also. And then at Heritage Muay Thai, we have Becca, the Glory boxing, kickboxing star. We have a lot of talent there. So I've definitely been blessed with the training partners this camp. Oh, I
Many,
also brought
yeah.
in. I'm sorry. I also brought in Jessica Aguilar, a UFC vet,
Oh,
for
okay.
yeah. So that was fun.
How has she been helping you? Is it more for like the game planning aspect, or is it just going round after round after round with her?
No, this whole camp has been specific training, smart training, game planning, and I think that is very much a part of MMA culture. I'm not I wouldn't call myself such a pro in Muay Thai, but I've been around Thailand and I've been around Muay Thai fighters, and they really just train to be the best, go in there and fight the best way they can, with the basics that they've learned. Same thing with boxing, but for MMA, there's so many ways you can win and so many ways you can lose. So game planning is very specific to MMA, and she has 14 years of pro fighting experience.
Yeah.
So she's really opened up my eyes to the game plan for this fight.
You and Stamp, You guys both have striking backgrounds, deep, deep striking backgrounds. But a lot of people look at this and say, okay, this is a striker in Stamp taking on a mixed martial artist in B. Do you see it that way?
Yes, I think they're right for saying that. Um, and I think it's gonna make for a hell of a fight. Anywhere this fight goes, it has a star. Do you know what I mean? I'm very confident in my striking skills. I'm very tough, as you guys have seen. But obviously, Stamp has made her mark in the stand-up world. So if it's the stand-up parts of the fight are going to be exciting because Stamp Fairtex is in it. The wrestling part, the MMA part is going to be exciting because I'm in it. I think it's going to be experience over MMA experience over her Muay Thai experience, and yeah, it's going to be fun.
Did you get a chance to check out her last MMA fight where she got the submission win? With a lot of people were like, "What was going on?" They thought that they were in a different dimension when she did get the tap. What did you think
Yeah.
of that performance?
I was impressed with her athleticism, and from somebody who's fought MMA for a long time, I can look in and say that she's very talented and she knows where her body should be. She's very aware on the ground. But what you know, you gotta look at who they're fighting. Also, there's two people in the cage, not just her, and I think that her opponent completely lacked ground. So it's really hard for me to gauge her ground from that fight. Um, and it's really hard for her to kind of mentally prepare for the ground that I'm gonna bring. So I think that she did a great job. I thought it was impressive win, but I thought it was over a boxer who had no ground.
Throughout your first three fights with one championship, what differences do you see in yourself, maybe even mentally and physically?
Um, Mentally, I'm free. I'm having fun. I'm not stressing. I don't feel pressured. I'm just having a good time, and it really reflects physically. This fight, especially, I'm not going to be stressed about the stand up. I'm not going to be stressed where the wrestling goes. I'm not going to be stressed on the ground. I'm just going to ride the wave. And this camp, I've been surfing pretty proficiently. So, um, yeah, I just feel free. I just feel free, and being free mentally allows me to be aggressive physically.
With the weight cutting, not even weight cutting, without the weight cutting, with the hydration test, and did it take you a couple times to kind of get used to that, or was it smooth from the beginning?
The first fight in Manila, I was completely lost. I was like, "What is going on?" And the thing I learned is I don't cut weight and add weight for one championship, but I failed the first hydration test because, and I felt hydrated because then that's when I realized even normal beings without competing, we think we're hydrated, we're really not. So I was really educated on my own hydration level. Of course, I passed in the end, and I've passed ever since. But for me, it was a little confusing at first, but now it's like I don't cut weight. Um, I stay hydrated and I feel phenomenal. My last fight was for a world title before I got signed to one, and I was dizzy all fight week. I was cutting 12 pounds in water. At my size, that's quite a bit. And then I got dropped with every punch that was thrown at me in that fight. So I think this needs to be I hope this could someday be the future of MMA because I've never felt healthier.
It, very well could be the future of MMA. Now, win or lose after this fight against Stamp, are you gonna shut it down for the rest of the year? Enjoy the holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving. Are you gonna do everything, or are you gonna stay ready and maybe try to fight one more time?
It's funny. I had a conversation with my manager. I was like, you know what? Because since I've signed with one, it's been only like 6, 7 months, and I've had 3 fights. This is going to be the fourth. I said to him, you know what? I'm putting my foot down. I want December, January, February off. But now I'm just having such a good time in this camp, and I'm so excited for a Stamp, and I don't know, and it really depends on who they offer me. If they give me an offer I can't refuse, like May Yamaguchi after this, or somebody great like that, I would definitely say yes. So yeah, it really depends on where they where their mind, where one championship's mind is at after this. Wow.
Well, it's exciting times for you. Like always, you've fought so many times in such a short period of time. A lot of people don't get that opportunity, but you have a huge opportunity coming up against Stamp, a big name
Yeah.
in the Asian region. If you beat her, who knows? She holds two titles in other martial arts.
Yeah.
Maybe that gives you an opportunity to go fight over there in Muay Thai. Do you see that?
Um, I see it. I see it, but
Mhm.
honestly, I'm really eyeing the MMA belt. I'm
Mhm.
really because I think because I've researched more and I've been more of a fan of May and Angela and them, so I want to challenge myself against them. Do you know what I mean? But definitely I'm down for whatever one
Mhm.
championship has for me coming up. But in me favorably, I would stay climbing the ranks at MMA in MMA.
All right, before you do that, November 8th, One Championship Masters of Faith, Stamp Fairtex. It's going to be a wild one. Thank you, B, for the time. It's always good talking to you. Good luck on the
Thank
future.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.